Hi guys, I'm Leanne, and if you follow me already then you probably know me as Leanne Creative. I am a graphic designer and illustrator based in London, and I produce and design my own greeting cards and gifts and t-shirts as well, featuring my own illustrations. Recently I've started to get into illustrating children's books. I've done 2 so far and I'm working on a 3rd one at the moment, which I'm really excited about. In this video I will be talking through the Magic Bubble Wand, which is by Barbara Adu-Darko. This is my 2nd book that I illustrated, and I'll be talking you through the whole process from commission to a final product. The first step would be the commission and the brief from the author. At this point, once the illustrator's been commissioned, then the author would send through a short manuscript of the book and outline exactly what they wanted, so how many pages, the different illustrations that are required, their timeline expectations and their budget as well. It would be also a good idea to include whether you want it to be an ebook or a printed book as well. So that way the illustrator really knows what they're getting into and if they're able to fulfill the job to your expectations, really. I know Barbara really well, we're really good friends, so we're able to meet up and kind of discuss the story, and I knew it was her very first book as well, so I really wanted to understand her vision and see if I was able to bring it to life. So the second step would be to break down the manuscript. So this would include just printing out the entire book and just sketching through and seeing how you can break up the text to fit on each page. And this really helps me as an illustrator, so I can kind of imagine the different scenes that I will need to introduce and start thinking about how the characters will flow through the book. It's also a great opportunity to make sure that you have enough content for your book as well, and make sure that it's broken up into even sections and that it's not too overwhelming for especially younger readers as well. It's a good idea not to have too much text on one page so they don't feel too overwhelmed, and it also keeps a good pace for reading the book as well. So step 3 would be character development. This is probably my favourite part because it's where the story really comes to life and you kind of get engaged and you see who's going to be involved in the story. And for this particular story, the main character is Sharon, and also she's supported by her mum and her little sister Belle. So at this stage I did a little sketch, and I was just able to discuss with Barbara her hair texture and her skin tone, what kind of things she likes to wear, and it started to really develop a really cute character which I enjoyed illustrating along the way. So step 5 is where you start to design and illustrate digitally. So from here I would take the sketches that I've done and that were approved by the author, and I would scan them into my computer, and I would then go into Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop to start illustrating. Typography is also something that really needs to be well considered when designing and illustrating a children's book in particular. I feel like the font needs to be quite simple, quite easy to read. The characters need to be easily recognisable for when they start reading themselves. So I decided to suggest to Barbara something a little more rounded, and that would really complement the story of the book as well. So we try to keep all the shapes and all the visuals quite rounded and to kind of complement the bubble theme. So this is the font that was chosen in the end. I then decided to highlight certain words using a bigger and more playful font. I think this would add more interest to the reader and get them a little bit more excited about how you can pronounce the words and how they can read it with their parent or an adult that's supporting them through it. So step 6 is approval. So once all of the pages have been designed and the text has been signed off, I then sent the final PDF through to Barbara, and she was able to look through and see if there was any changes or any updates that she wanted to make. And once all of those were made, then I would prepare the file for ebook and for print. So of course the final stage is completion, and that's where I would send all the files to Barbara to start to promote the book as she needed. I actually designed a couple of posts for Instagram and Twitter as well to help her on her promotion journey, and I'm really excited and really proud of her, and she's now a published author, and I'm really happy to have been part of that journey with her. I always like to promote the books on my own page as well, but please do follow Colourful Bubbles on Instagram. I will leave her handle in the description, and you can also follow her for any updates and the release of the actual physical book as well. Thank you so much for listening to my very first video. I hope it was useful to you, whether you're a writer or an illustrator. I hope it kind of outlines the whole process from start to finish and helps you on your own journey to illustrating your own children's book. So thank you, and I hope to be making some more videos in the future. Bye!